This episode of Hockey Now is brought to you by BlurryCam. But on a serious note, if you guys enjoy the show, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and share it with your friends so that we can hopefully afford to buy some new equipment and avoid these issues in the future. Other than that, enjoy the episode.
Welcome back to another episode of Hockey Now. We've got some information on the John Scott Fiasco, if you can call it a fiasco.
John who?
Yeah, that's exactly. Also, Calgary Flames, what's going on with them?
Losing.
Welcome back. My name is Lyndon.
I'm Leader.
And we've got some information. We got some things to talk about on this episode because we've been put on a little bit of a roller coaster the past month with this whole John Scott situation. And it's an interesting situation because let's back it up to when the NHL first opened up the fan voting. They said, here you go, fans. Vote for whoever you want to be in the All-Star game. And they assumed that they would pick All-Stars because it's the All-Star game. But if anyone has paid attention to social media, you know that 90% of fans in the NHL think the All-Star game is a joke. So what did they do?
That's what it is, John. Who is?
John Scott. He was playing for the Arizona Coyotes. He's played 11 games this season in the NHL. The rest
He's got one assist, I think.
If he actually has that one assist. But most of his games have been played in the NHL, in the minors. So he's not an All-Star by any means, but for whatever reason, this guy was voted into the NHL All-Star game.
Well, fans wanted to prove a point, and are they fans? I don't know. Like, you got guys playing $6-7 million contracts in this game. They're not going to go out and make it entertaining and smash your face into the boards. I'm sorry, they're going to put pucks in the net, and it's going to be hard for a goalie to stop. That's what they get paid to do, Lyndon. And so I don't understand why they did that. But to me, I don't think they're true fans. If you haven't watched, how many games would you need to watch in a year to really be a true fan? 30? 50? I don't know. I think you got to be in there somewhere. If you've only watched 10 games in a whole season of hockey, don't even get on the ballot. Like, go play croquet or something.
And I think Don Cherry said it best when he called the fans jerks for doing this.
Absolutely.
Because here's what transpired after the fact is, okay, so John Scott gets voted into the All-Star game. Cool, whatever. Then
he is still a person.
We don't want to bash on John Scott because I feel bad for the guy, but at the same time, this is the way it is, and so we're going to talk about it. So apparently, this hasn't been confirmed. Well, it's all but confirmed. The NHL and the Arizona Coyotes both asked John Scott to bow out of the competition.
Of course.
And I can understand it to a point because, he's not an all-star. Kind of like, hey, you're playing with all these all-stars, like Johnny Gaudreau, who is the number one all-star for December, and John Scott on the same team, and John Scott's the captain, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So, understandably, they asked him to bow out. Do I think it's right? Yeah, it's debatable. Then you get into the whole situation of he says no, Arizona sends him to the AHL where he plays there, but he's still technically going to be in the All-Star game because it's a bit of a gray area. Then all of a sudden he gets traded to Montreal. So now he's in a different division.
And now he's still going to the AHL.
He still is in the AHL, or in the AHL in Montreal. And so now we're at this point of, okay, is he in the All-Star game or is he not?
Well, now all the media, it's media. You know, anything Lyndon, media, and here we are. Media just blows everything out of proportion, and this is how everything started, and that's how it twists politics, it twists sports, it twists everything upon it. So, here we are, and he's going to play because I think the NHL, okay, we got to do something. This isn't going away, and we have to fix it next year, so he's going to play. So, he's playing. He's playing with Johnny Gaudreau. He's captaining. So, you know what? All the best. He's not going to be a jerk. He's sounds like a really nice guy.
And I think one of the things that really kind of tipped it over the edge is I'll throw a picture up on the screen here, and these are the T-shirts that he actually had made up that he was going to give to his teammates, and it's just. It's like, okay, he's a nice guy. He's got twins coming at the end of the month. He wants his team to win so he can get the cash prize and help out his family. So it's like, okay, you feel for the guy, right? He's a nice guy. You want to be on his side, but at the same time, it's like this should never have happened in the first place. Why are we in this situation? Well, it's because the NHL All-Star Game is a joke. But why is it a joke? Well, it's because the fans think it's a joke. Is it really a joke? I don't know. We haven't even seen 3-on-3 in the All-Star game, so how do we know it's going to be a joke?
If every fan gave him $1 that voted for him, how much money would he have?
Well, probably more than he's going to win in the All-Star game. So
do the guy a favor.
And I don't want to call anyone out, but you look at a big-name hockey analyst like Bob McKenzie, who has a massive following. He starts saying things like, oh, he's going to bow out regardless if the NHL says he can play or not. And he's just adding fuel to the fire, right? So it's one of those things, it's... I don't know. It's just the media as a whole blew this whole thing way out of proportion. And
it'll change next year.
It could have been all avoided.
It's going to be great. You know what? I don't think he'll do that bad, to tell you the truth. You get 3-on-3. He is an NHL player. He didn't get there just for his fist. Yeah. So he's got to have a bit of talent. So I think he'll...
And 3-on-3 is one of those things where it's going to be exciting regardless because you have so much wide open space.
Oh, it's going to be great. So, I mean, stand in front of the net and Johnny will feed you and you can put it in.
Well, exactly. So that's that. Looking towards next year, maybe they could... I don't know, not have fan voting strictly any player. If you're going to do fan voting, then have a pool of players or have it not ranked. Because the way it was done was you could see who was in first place the whole time, right? So then the fans knew that John Scott was already winning. So if they said, oh no, Johnny Gaudreau actually won, he was in second place, by the way, then fans would know. So
maybe they could have a fan favorite and then give him a car or something. He doesn't have to play.
Yeah, well, the NHL did, before they announced that he was going to be eligible to play again, they said that his family was going to get a paid vacation to go there and everything. But at that point in time, I was assuming that they were still going to say, no, he can't play because he's in a different division.
I think they're still going, but I'm not sure if his wife's going because she's, twins and,
I think they're
and close to a couple weeks away. So
I'm pretty sure they're expecting for that weekend. But regardless, it's a big whole situation.
Hey, maybe they'll have the baby right during the game and he won't be able to be there. Just saying. So if that happens, who stepped in?
I don't know. Let's not even talk about that because that's going to be a whole other
thing. Are there any rookie All-Stars going? Or they did not do that this year, did they?
I haven't heard anything about a rookie All-Star game, so I'm going to say it's not happening.
It's just short a captain if that happens, and then more guys get more ice time.
Yeah.
So...
but moving on to the Calgary Flames. So you mentioned a couple things in our rapid fire episode. If you haven't seen it, you can go check it out here. Let us know if you like that sort of thing. But they're off to a bit of a rocky start here, and on their road trip that is. And there's a lot of things that they could fix. So one of the main things is goaltending.
I mean, overall, let's bring December back. But yeah, goaltending. Hiller had 2 great games. And he's struggling a little bit again.
Yeah, he got that great win. 6-0
Rommel played good, and so why are we not putting him in and getting each of those guys to challenge each other? I don't care who's making more money, but let's stop the pucks. Keep the puck out of the net.
Rommel is playing tonight when this video goes up.
Okay.
Against Columbus, but I feel like he should have been in net against New Jersey. Back-to-back games for Hiller, after he lost that game in Edmonton, I was like, okay, let's put Ramo back in because he's kind of been our guy for the season. And he's just played a lot better overall. It's great for Hiller to get that shutout and get a little bit of confidence, but overall, he hasn't really earned his stripes this year. And he made those comments after that 6-0 game saying that
they never go well.
It's his contract year and he wants to play and he should be playing over Ramo. But at the same time, it's like, well, if you're not performing, what do you do? Overall, the Flames... After this year, the Flames really need to look at their goaltending situation and consider moving a couple key players in order to get some good goaltending because...
Yeah, if we're going to be contender, I mean, look at goaltending. We need goaltending. We need consistency, period. But goaltending, size, and I know management has addressed that and they're working on that, and that takes time to get size in there. And the other thing I look at, to be a contender, Lyndon, is... We're looking for guys that are veterans that have been to the Cup, have won the Cup, and whether it's in the dressing room or on the ice or when it's critical, tie game, down 1, ahead 1, to hold on, to come with a comeback, put a goal in. We need those guys there to show that drive and spread like wildfire throughout the team.
I think Giordano is a good leader, but again, just as I mentioned, he's never
won.
He's never been to a final, right?
I believe he can.
He has the potential, but it's just as you said, we need those veteran presence, and it comes down to the same thing, like you said, consistency, and we're not seeing that right now. There's a lot of turnovers happening. We're spending a lot of time in our own zone or the neutral zone, having a lot of hard time getting into the other zone and getting good forechecks going, and it's not working out for us. So something has to change. I know Bob Hartley mentioned he's looking to do some line changes for tonight's game, so hopefully we'll see some better combinations, but we've been seeing different combinations all year long. When are we going to find something that works?
Well, I think it works for a couple games. Then I think what happens is with film, people figure it out, and then they key on it. They key on Johnny Gaudreau and how he enters the zone. So you look at that, and so I think he solved that well on the one goal the other night. He did a small move and fake and got through and assisted on the goal.
One thing I noticed with Johnny Gaudreau is he's actually done that move twice now in 2 straight games, and I think he's kind of, just like you said, he's learning that he can't always do the same thing because people are catching on to that.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time,
you got to change it up.
I've seen it twice in a row now. If I see it 3 times in a row, okay, bud, you got to change it up a little bit.
I liked Ferland on that top line. The couple games he played there, I
do like him on the third line. But
Frolik had good wheels underneath him. I think I'd like to see him break out and score.
Well, he was just coming off an injury, so hopefully he can kind of get back into the group.
Because we did trade for him. Well, no, signed him as a free agent, right?
Yeah.
So that we need him. We need him to pull his weight.
We need everyone to step up. That's the matter of fact, is that everyone...
When Colborne, a great player, big body, but when he goes from the first line to the fourth line and then sits a healthy scratch, it's kind of like, buddy, you got to be consistent. That's that consistency.
Well, and Mason Raymond talked about the same thing, is when he gets scratched or when he was sent down to the AHL briefly at the beginning of the season there, it's kind of like, when that happens, you realize, hey, I'm not doing so well. I need to be playing better so that I can be actually playing in the NHL and playing on those top lines.
But to play better, you got to have more ice time and chemistry. So getting the lines right on the right night, playing against the right team, and keying on what you can take advantage of their strengths so they don't take advantage of yours. It's all in the coaching too.
But I can't think you can't be complacent about the fact that if you're not getting enough ice time, you have to be giving 110% all the time, not just when it suits you or when you're playing with people that you want, or if you're on the top 2 lines. Because at the end of the day, like,
you got to make every shift count every time you step on that ice.
Yeah, and I think, like, this was mentioned briefly before. I don't know if Bob Hartley still goes by this or not, but he mentioned kind of an ABCD line rotation instead of a 1, 2, 3, 4. And what he was kind of getting at is, it's like everyone has a role to play, and we all have to score goals, and we all have to play defensively, and we all have to work as a team to get the win. And so with the ABCD mentality, you're all technically the top line, right? But you just have different roles. And so I think it's a really interesting way to look at it, because like someone on the fourth line, they might be deemed as someone that's not good enough.
Stajan's on the fourth line, but how important is he?
Stajan's been incredible this year, and this is a guy that 2 years ago you wanted him to get rid of, and you said you hated him. So
love you, Stajan.
It's one of those things, like, some players, maybe they need time, but at the same time, you can't just all of a sudden wait for your time to come and you just to be all of a sudden good. You have to be good now.
I only do that, and I give them a hard time, and I go, come on, get going, or I get frustrated with them, because then all of a sudden they start playing good the next shift, or the next period, or the next game, and it's like, see, I told you, they're hearing me. So, boys, let's get going here.
He believes in
Hoodler, get going, come on!
He's one of those guys that believes if you yell at the TV hard enough, they'll actually be able to hear you. So, that's the thing. But, yeah, so hopefully tonight...
believe.
Hopefully tonight against the Columbus Blue Jackets we'll have a little bit better luck. Hopefully we can win. Like, Columbus Blue Jackets...
Tortorella, bench brawler.
Okay, did you
hallway brawl, something, dressing room, down the hall.
Did you hear what Bob Hartley said today?
No, I didn't. What did he say?
He says, I like Torts. Torts is a fiery guy. and
we're a fiery team.
I just thought that was kind of funny, because, like, when you can just respect another coach just like that, it's funny, because, like, at the end of the day, Torts is a funny guy. He's an interesting character, right? Like,
he brings spice to the game.
Well, exactly. When that line brawl happened in Vancouver and he came in the hallway,
too bad he didn't.
Yeah, we were mad at him, but it was friggin' funny. So
too bad we didn't have that when he was. He was on TSN, right?
Yeah, he had a brief TSN stint.
We could have had a brawl on TSN.
Why,
Bob McKenzie?
Like, a lot of those ex-coaches had a brief stint. When I think about it, like, Craig McTavish had a brief stint on there too. That was weird.
Hey, where's the old Vancouver and Colorado coach?
Who?
We were just talking about him the other day. Can't remember.
Anyways,
carry on.
I have no idea who you're talking about. But yeah, so hopefully, tonight should be a good game. I'm thinking, from everything I've been seeing on Twitter with the Calgary Flames Twitter account, it sounds like they're doing some things, changing things up, and we're supposed to see some big changes. So hopefully it works out, and hopefully we can get the win. We need to get a bit on a winning streak here. We can't just keep losing on the road. We need to be able to win on the road because we can't just rely on winning at home. It's not going to work. So, did you find out who that is?
I'm looking, but no. Come on, I don't know. He was a TV analyst. He was in Vancouver. He was in Colorado.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
He had the hair going.
Everyone had hair.
I said,
well,
yeah.
except that guy
Had
from
it
New
going
Jersey.
for him.
Well, I think we're going to wrap up this episode. Once again, if you haven't checked out a rapid fire episode, just something we decided to try here, doing some shorter topics, get some more information out to you guys, and then keep the episodes to some
Mark Crawford.
more main topics. Oh, right. Mark Crawford.
I don't know where he is.
Yeah, he just disappeared.
Disappeared.
So leave a like if you liked this video. Of course, we'll be back next week with some more episodes. You know you've been recording for a long time when the video camera stops recording and then this guy just starts talking randomly for a bunch of minutes. But I think that's our cue to end this episode of Hockey Now. So we will see you guys next week with another episode of Hockey Now and another episode of the Rapid Fire Show. We're going to post a poll on Twitter here. Let us know your thoughts on these polls, and we're going to talk about them in next week's Rapid Fire. So make sure you go vote on that. Link will be in the description below.
Let's go get some jackets.
We'll see you guys next week.
Go Flames.